everybody, welcome back to the YouTube channel, and I'm so excited to be here today. And today we're going to be talking about wellness tips, wellness tricks, wellness hacks, things that just really help you feel good in your body and your beauty and your well-being, and really help you glow from the inside out. If you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes, but let's get straight into it. And the first one is forgiveness. So I know some of y'all might be like, what? Like, I wasn't expecting her to start with forgiveness. But if you think about resentment and you think about unforgiveness and you think about you're trying to, create a new reality, you're trying to go for something, you have a goal, you want to be successful here, you want to have your dream body, your dream home, your dream car, whatever, yet you're still holding on to things from the past and resentments. And let's be clear, people really could have wronged you. People really could have hurt you and really done some cruel, harmful things. But there gets to a point where you really just have to process the anger. And I'm coming from a place where I've had to go through this and process the really harmful things that people have done to me. But you have to process the anger and the sadness and the despair and the hurt and the betrayal, and eventually come to a place where you start forgiving them and also forgiving yourself for some of the things that you have done in your life. Because when you're trying to go for it all and you're holding on to those past things, the unforgiveness and the resentment and the bitterness, it keeps you tethered to the past. It's like having a cord, like a chain, literally, you're chained to that thing, you're chained to that person, you're chained to that job, and you can't really create the new because you're chained to the past. And when you're chained to the past, whatever you create in the new is just going to be a mirror of the past. It's going to be the same thing in a different body, the same story, the same betrayal, the same hurt in a new way. That's why sometimes when people, let's say you're in a relationship and you haven't learned the lessons, you haven't done the forgiveness, you haven't cleaned up your past, you haven't, done all the work, and then you get into another relationship and it's the same thing. It's repeating the same story. And one very powerful way to break those chains and really start creating a completely new story is forgiving yourself and forgiving others. And I want to reiterate two things. Forgiveness does not mean you don't feel the anger and all of the hard things with the situation you're forgiving. Definitely feel those things. And also, one of the biggest things I want to say is you can forgive someone and completely cut them off. You can forgive someone and never see them again. You can forgive someone and they no longer have access to you. I think sometimes when people think of forgiveness, they're like, okay, I gotta forgive, my cousin did some dirt or X, Y, and Z to me, and I gotta forgive my cousin, and now me and my cousin have to be best friends again. No, yes, if that feels good to you, but no, you can also forgive someone and they don't have the same level of access anymore, or they don't have any access to you anymore. You can completely cut someone off from a loving place of forgiveness. So forgiveness is one of the most powerful ways to glow up your life in all ways, but you're doing it from the inside out. And if that resonates with anyone, please let me know. Drop something in the comments, let your girl know. And then for wellness tip number 2, I have journaling. This is so important. I love those videos that are what's in your bag, and it's oh, what's in my Birkin bag, what's in my Chanel bag, those, or any bag, those type of videos. And I noticed so many of the girls, and even watching the ones on Vogue and the celebrities, so many of the girls are keeping journals in their bags. And I was like, that's really the tip right there. That is really the hack. journaling every day, and also keeping a journal in your bag. I even have little mini journals, like they're so small for like my mini bags, my small bags. I still put a journal and a pen in there, but when I wake up, I journal 3 pages, like whatever is on my mind. It can be great things, it could be what I'm trying to create, it could just be like getting my thoughts out of my head, which could be negative, like just journaling, free writing, getting it out on paper. Journaling is so important, and that's also called morning pages, by the way, from the book The Artist's Way. I was doing it before The Artist's Way, and then when I read The Artist's Way, I said, oh, the morning pages. So when I wake up, just getting everything out, journaling. And then keeping the journal in my bag has been very helpful for me, because sometimes you just gotta whip it out, especially if you're in a situation, maybe you're around family, maybe you're just at an event, maybe you're just being annoyed, like you're getting annoyed. Or even if you're at work sometime, if you pull out pen and paper at work, no one's gonna question you. People are gonna be like, oh, she's just jotting notes down. But she's jotting notes down for the meeting. No, she's journaling, getting her thoughts out of her head. So get those thoughts out of your head, get it down on paper. You don't always need a structure. You can just start writing. And if you don't know what to say, journal and write, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to say. And then trust me, something's going to start coming out of nowhere, and you're going to be like, whoa, I didn't even know this was inside of me. And also scripting when I journal too. So saying things when I journal sometimes, like, it's so wonderful. Let's say you want a home, like a mansion or something. You're like, it's so wonderful, but you're journaling this out. It's so wonderful and amazing that I live in such a beautiful mansion that has like 6 bedrooms and 4 baths, and it feels so good to be in here with my loved ones, and I love the backyard and the tree and the garden, and this is such a beautiful home. Like, scripting that out and really like feeling good when you do that is a very powerful tool as well. But journaling is really good. And if you're ever nervous or you just feel yourself on the edge a little bit, whether you're at home or whether you're in public, like, whip out that journal, get whatever is within you out on a paper, and you'll feel so much more clear afterwards. So, and you can get cute. Like, I love a cute journal. I mean, this one's base, so this is like an old school basic one, but I have like fuzzy journals. I have like all the things. So do what makes you feel good. You can have fun with it. And then for tip number 3, I have boundaries. So, boundaries with food, boundaries with people, boundaries with friends, boundaries with work. This one is so exciting. And also, if you're interested in just leveling up your beauty, your boundaries, your body, and your life, I do have a free 7-day challenge linked in my description, and it is so it is everything. That 7-day challenge will really get you together. It talks about boundaries, it talks about beauty, it talks about some other things, but in short, it's giving you the tools, like practical everyday tools that you need so that you can glow up and really live your best life and create your dream reality and feel so good in your body doing so. So definitely check out that in my description. But yeah, back to boundaries. Like, the way I approach boundaries, which has been a game changer for me, is that boundaries are internal. So instead of saying, let's say your cousin again, and this is not a true story for me, I'm just saying cousin because it's easy. But let's say your cousin is doing X, Y, and Z, and you're like, I need better boundaries with my cousin. So I'm gonna have a conversation with them so that they can respect my boundaries. That's not the way I approach boundaries. That is a last resort for boundaries. The first resort for boundaries is creating boundaries within yourself. So it's almost like discipline. So in the situation with your cousin, you would say, okay, I have a boundary within myself. I'm not available for staying up late on the phone with my cousin when they gossip about, I don't know, their bad relationship. So instead of going to them saying, hey, I really don't like it when you gossip to me about your bad relationship, and then expecting them to change, like, no, you just tell yourself, I'm not doing that anymore. Like, I'm not available for it anymore. So when they do call you late and you don't want to talk, like, you just don't pick up the phone. Or if they start going off, you say, hey, I gotta go. Or like, I don't really want to talk about this right now, or I don't have the capacity. You don't have to be mean, but like, you're just not doing it anymore. So that's the way I approach boundaries with food, with everything. It's really about what you're available for and what you're not available for. So at work, like, why? No, don't be available for answering emails before 9 or working late. Like, you don't need to have a conversation with your boss or with anyone else about that. Just don't do it anymore. Like, they'll get used to the new way you operate, but you know, you're not available for workplace drama. You're not available for working hard when you can work smart in 2026. Like, AI can do half of the stuff anyway, but don't be available for those things. Be available for ease, be available for work-life balance, be available for working so smart. Like, even the concept of an 8-hour workday, I really question that. It depends on what you're doing. You know, I understand if you're a doctor, you're doing heart surgery, certain things, construction, like certain jobs, you definitely need a human there for a while. But other jobs, you know, if you can get it done in a few hours and live your best life the rest of the time there, like, why not? Especially if you work remote. It's just, that don't make sense. That's such an outdated, like, old school, like, way of working. It don't even make sense. So hopefully, I don't know, hopefully that lands with someone. Girl, you do not need to be giving yourself away for 8 hours every single day. You're gonna burn yourself out. Trust me, I've been there. The 7-day challenge is good for burnout. I'm telling y'all, it's good for everything. But yeah, don't do it. And also, food boundaries are important. And you know, I'm speaking to myself because it's so easy when you're going through some of the tough times or tough things, you're like, now you magically want ice cream. Like, girl, talking to myself. But you know, have boundaries with food. Intermittent fasting is great for that as well. Okay, I'm going off. If you want to know more, definitely check out the challenge, and I will see y'all in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.